the fake laugh.
Well, Randy's already talking, but welcome everybody to another episode of Friends of the Squared Circle. I'm your host, Crander Q, aka my real name. Now today we've got Alex, Mr. 827. What a name. Randy doesn't have a name there. So also check out our sponsors at Superior Creations on Facebook. Get all your custom tumbler needs. We got Darius Martin there. We got your WrestlePalooza champion, Darren Corbin, as well as one of our other sponsors, and Dante Martin. Check them out on Superior Creations on Facebook. Give them a like and follow. And we also have t-shirts. Yes, we have t-shirts. Check those beauties out. Yep, this is a cheap plug for me, as well as we've got hats. And Alex, I see you're wearing a hat there. Appreciate that. Now, today's guests, we have Alex Reynolds as well as Randy, not so macho, definitely a savage, Randy C. Randy, how you doing today?
Great. How are you?
That's a great intro. I know you love it. And Alex, how you doing today?
Doing good, man.
Perfect. I appreciate the support coming on here, doing a little bit of wrestle talk, as they call it on the TikTok. Now, I told you guys before we got started here, we're going to have a little trivia. This is just kind of a new segment I'm going to try. It's going to be called Friends of the Squared Circle Showcase. We might be doing this a little more. We'll see how it goes. So, Alex, are you ready?
Yeah, hit me. What's the worst thing I can do? Get it
Let's
right?
see if you can name this legendary wrestler action figure. Here we go.
That's the guy you really like, the American Dream guy. I can't think of his name right now, but I know who he is.
Randy?
Dusty Rhodes. It's Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, he got it. All righty. All right, Randy, you ready for yours?
Sure.
All right, here we go. It's pretty easy. You should be able to get this one, Randy.
That's the Big Boss Man.
Perfect. Awesome. There we go. All right, we got one more for you here, Alex. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it to it.
All right, here we go.
It's the Honky Tonk Man.
Perfect. Awesome. Look at that. All right, Randy. I know you're not so keen on these little toys, but here we go. Here's another one for you. What do you got?
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Perfect. All right. Now this one's a little bit harder.
Cal.
Who would like the first stab at the tiebreaker, Randy or Alex? Who wants the tiebreaker?
It don't matter.
All right. So, Randy, we're going to give it to you first. You get one guess. This one's a little harder.
I don't know. Is that the hell's that guy's name? I don't know. I want to say
Alex?
like a giant Gonzalez guy, but it's not.
He got it. Look at that. All right. Good job, Randy. Those are some
good
Hasbro
thing you
figures I
got
was
that
looking at on eBay. What's that?
It's a good thing Randy got that because I definitely wasn't going.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was definitely one that popped up and it had me stumped, but I was kind of excited to see if you guys knew it is. So Randy takes round one. I was shocked by that. All right, guys, so let's just jump into the actual portion of the podcast. Alex, can you tell me some of your favorite, earliest wrestling memories that you have?
Well, for me, wrestling started really early. I had a couple of older cousins that were really into it. So, we grew up, wrestling, amongst all my cousins and stuff. But I would say for me, wrestling really didn't hit its stride until, the late 90s, early 2000s. I was hanging out with a kid that I was really good friends with that was huge into it. And I kind of got into, the old N64 video games. So, NWO World Tour, stuff like that. And then it went from WCW into the WWE. And then after that, it was WrestleMania 2000. And I don't even know how many hours of WWF No Mercy I played in my N64. And so pretty much from 2000 to 2004, I watched every pay-per-view because we had pay-per-view parties at my parents' house all the time. So for me, that was my heyday of wrestling. And then after that, it kind of just fell away. But I mean, for that 4-year stretch, that was all I watched was wrestling.
Okay.
So,
how about you, Randy? What are some of your earliest wrestling memories there?
My really early ones, I remember watching The Ultimate Warrior. I really liked The Ultimate Warrior. Mostly his ring entrance when he just steamrolled all the way down the aisle. I remember playing that Royal Rumble game on Super Nintendo a
Okay.
lot, which is a little further back than what Alex was talking about. But I also, play wrestled or whatever with my younger brother down in the basement and stuff. And my mom would yell at us, and one of us would get hurt, and that whole thing. As far as like wrestling memory, I think the earliest memory I have was Shawn Michaels kicking Marty Jannetty in the face and then throwing him the glass or whatever on whatever.
Okay, the barbershop spot. Okay.
Yep. And then of course Jim Cornette, best manager to ever do it. Outside of that, I don't really have that many memories of a kid. I know I watched it, but I really kind of got into it more in the Monday Night Wars, and then when that was done, I was pretty much done too.
All right, now Alex, back to you. You said you kind of played it on 64 as well. I know you're a big gamer, especially nostalgia like I am. What were some of your favorite characters off the N64 games, or real life, wrestlers that you were kind of drawn to?
I don't know. I know it was a lot of fun, like on the N64 one. At that time, it was like, in my opinion, one of the best like heydays of tag team wrestling. So it was like you had the Hardy Boys, and then you had Edge and Christian, and you had the New Age Outlaws and stuff. So it was tons of like, me and my buddies used to do tons of like ladder matches with just random tag teams, and then like we would get like 3 or 4 guys together, and we would do giant Royal Rumbles, which was awesome until your first character got thrown out, and then who knows what random character you were going to get. So, but I mean, that was always super fun for me. And just to backtrack a little bit, Randy was talking about playing the WrestleMania game on Super Nintendo. I had the WrestleMania game on Sega, and I just remember playing the crap out of that too, because it had like Papa Shango and Diesel and stuff on it. So it was really cool, as a little nostalgic bite. So
I actually said Royal Rumble. I didn't say WrestleMania.
Oh, sorry. Mine was Royal Rumble on the Sega. My bad.
And like I said in that intro, Randy, definitely not macho, but a savage. Yeah, he's living up to it. Randy, were there anybody besides Ultimate Warrior that stuck out to you during that time period in your earliest memories?
I like the Rockers.
Okay.
Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, I guess. I like the Vince McMahon character when he turned into an asshole.
Yeah, that was definitely the good stuff with him in Austin. Everybody dreams to beat up their boss. I know, Alex, I was your boss at one time, and I'm sure there was a time or two where you wanted to pull up a stunner or pull in the milk truck. So back to Alex here.
Who do you think would win in a fight between you two?
What's that?
Who do you think would win in a fight between you two?
Probably Alex. He's got muscles. I'm just all fat. I'm a body guy.
And you'd have to get me pretty mad to fight first. So,
so back on topic here. So were you more a WCW guy, Alex, or were you the WCW? Or WWE or WCW, excuse me.
Well, for me, it was more WWE, because when I first started wrestling, my parents didn't have cable. So all we had was antenna channels. So the only wrestling we actually could watch was when Thursday Night SmackDown was still on UPN out of the cities. So that was the only wrestling we ever actually got to watch until we got cable. And we actually didn't get cable. We got satellite, but that wasn't until like 2001. So like, it used to be for us, we'd like watch Thursday, and then I wouldn't get caught up until the following Thursday. So you'd have, you have to wait and see all the clips from Monday Night Raw on Thursday, to see all the storylines. So really, I did miss a lot of probably the best wrestling, because I know Monday Night Raw was way better than SmackDown was, especially early on. So,
okay. And now you said you had your pay-per-view parties. Was that just kind of like your dad, you, and your brothers, or did your mom get into it as well?
It was mainly just my family, like my parents and my brothers and stuff. And then I had a great uncle that was really liked wrestling. So he used to come over. And then my best friend at the time, Isaac, used to come over all the time too, and watch pay-per-views and stuff. So it just kind of became a thing. We did it the first couple times, and then kind of evolved into like a every month thing. It was pretty cool. You know, we'd get pizzas and just kind of watch the pay-per-view, and it was always really fun because, especially, you know, when you watch the storylines play out all the way up to the pay-per-views, it was really kind of cool. So
how about you, Randy? Did you guys do any parties, pay-per-view events or anything, or did you get to watch the pay-per-views? Or
No, never. I'd never do that.
how'd you get your content besides TV then? Did you go, the magazines? I know the internet was just starting out. Did you search the internet for anything, or did you just wait till you caught it on TV again?
It's just TV. I didn't really care that much.
Alrighty. How about some first live events, Alex? Did you go to any live events, or was it mostly strictly TV for you?
The first time I ever went to a live event was when I went to TLC in the cities with you. What was that, like 5 years ago? But I did go to a small local show a long time ago at the casino in Hayward, and it was some pretty low budget stuff, but for a couple hours it was really pretty good for some low budget stuff.
Those are definitely the best, because then you can be like Randy and talk mad shit, through the whole thing and think how you could do better. Randy, were you able to go to any live events as a kid, or?
Yeah, I remember going to one I was very young. I remember Virgil wrestling for some reason, but outside of that, I don't remember much about it. It was at the Deck.
Oh, okay.
I also remember going to, I don't know if it was Nitro or not, but I was 15. And I remember that because I had a brace on my leg because I tore my meniscus. And we must have been like second or third row, and the idiots in front of us were standing, hooting and hollering, and I couldn't get up to see what was going on because my knee was messed up. Also remember going to one at the Superior Fair. Must have been, 15 years ago. I remember the Honky Tonk Man was there, and a bunch of other old timers, I guess. But those are the only three I've ever been to.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, Alex, I think I got to correct you, because I think we went to a Heavy on Wrestling show before we went to the TLC. Me, you, Bob, and Brian.
Yes, we did. Yeah,
when it went I think that was the one with Hardcore Holly and Luke Hawk, where they beat the crap out of each other around the whole arena, I think.
Yeah, that was really good. That was a really good one.
Because I got my sign ripped up, and he wiped his butt with it, and I was pretty pissed because he ripped up my sign for the next match. So
I used to get invites until you got a fiance.
Yeah. Take a shot, Randy. We're going to talk about Amy today. All right, so we're going to do a little bit more trivia here. We're going to play a little more of the pitcher game here. This one's going to be pretty easy for you, Randy. Hopefully you can name this tag team.
The Rockers.
Perfect. Starting out with an easy one there for you. All right, Alex. Here we go.
It's the Road Warriors, ain't it?
No.
Okay, well, that's why I'm good. I can mess up a lot.
Randy, do you got a guess?
It's the Harlem Heat.
Perfect. Come on, Alex.
I didn't look close enough to see that it was Booker T, okay? Or was it King Booker? I'm not sure which alter ego it was then.
One of the best alter egos that he had. All right.
There's that fake game show laugh right there.
This is great. I'm trying out new stuff. This might be the worst episode or the best episode. Who knows? All right, Randy.
I feel terrible for anyone still watching this.
It's not live on anywhere else except for you and I and Alex. So, all right. One more to close it out if you can get it. You're up, Randy.
On the back, it says the Usos, doesn't it?
Perfect. Well, it's still hiding the words, but there we go.
Spoon-fed.
Right. That's a clean sweep for Randy there. Randy, you're pretty good at this. You thought you would lose. He might get you in the final round. Now,
good job, Randy. Way to go.
Now, Alex, did you collect anything wrestling-wise besides just the video games? Any shirts, toys, magazines, anything like that? Did you have?
I never bought any shirts, but we used to get a lot of hand-me-down clothes, and my cousin Bill was like super into wrestling. So I got a whole bunch of hand-me-down clothes from him when I was younger. So I had like in high school, I had some NWO shirts and stuff like that that I got handed down to me. So that was all I really had. I never really collected shirts or anything, but I did have some hand-me-down stuff that was wrestling related.
How about you, Randy? Did you have any wrestling merch growing up?
Yeah, we had like a ton of the little action figure guys, and we had the old WWF ring,
Okay.
and we'd do the little wrestling matches or whatever. I didn't have like clothes or anything like that I remember, but we did have a lot of action figures that we played with when we were younger.
Gotcha. Was there any action figure that stood out for you?
Yeah, Jake Roberts actually.
Okay.
Jake the Snake Roberts one. I
Was it
remember
that Hasbro one that we showed you?
No, it was a little different, but
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it was the same color pants, but didn't have the snake.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Now I know you guys, but the folks at home. Now with today's product, is there any stars, Alex, today that you're kind of high on? I know we do a lot of the pay-per-view parties now, because of me being, me. But is there any stars today that you're really sold on?
I don't know, to be honest, other than just the last couple of pay-per-views I've seen, I haven't watched enough to really even know who's out there right now, to be honest. Because I've only seen two pay-per-views in the last year, I think. And so like every time we go to a pay-per-view party, I feel like I'm asking more questions like, oh, who is that? Than like actually knowing who's who. So I don't know. I'm not really following too much of it right now.
I know we haven't had one for a while because that kind of got shut down for a bit. I know you were a big fan of Asuka there at the TLC one. She can definitely wrestle.
She's really good. She's really good.
How about you, Randy? Anybody in the product that sticks out today? I know you're a big Jim Cornette fan, but he's not wrestling right now.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure he wrestles anymore, but I think my favorite wrestler currently is the fan that beat up Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Seth is still wrestling it.
No, the guy that beat him up.
Oh, I didn't catch that part. No, I think he's in jail.
Oh,
they should give him a contract.
Seth Rollins can call himself a professional wrestler after a fan beat him up.
Probably didn't want that lawsuit. So, and I know we've watched a lot of UFC. This is one of our questions for today. Randy, we'll start with you. Is there anybody in the UFC that you can think of that would make it in the WWE?
Like fake fighting?
No, pretend wrestling. Any UFC star that you think could make it in pro wrestling?
Oh, I think they would all beat every single wrestler.
No, they're wrestling. They're not fighting in an MMA fight.
Oh, so they're fake fighting. Okay.
Yeah, like you and Alex do.
Chael Sonnen, Conor McGregor.
Okay.
Just basically the loudmouths that talk a lot of trash, I'm sure would fit in pretty well. Although somebody else would be writing what they say, so I don't think it would be as good. But those guys would be pretty good, I would think.
Okay. How about you, Alex? Anybody that you think in the UFC that could be a wrestler, or anybody celebrity-wise that could be a pro wrestler?
Well, I don't know. Did Randy say Masvidal? That guy seems pretty good. Like he could definitely do it. I don't know if I pronunciated that right. Probably not. But.
Close enough.
I think, I don't know. He just seems like a guy that once he started ripping promos could do pretty good. I think it would take him a little bit, and then obviously he's going to dominate anybody in the ring, I would assume. So, I guess I could.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I could use the guarantee call and be like, I think that Brock Lesnar guy could probably be a pretty good wrestler. I don't know. I don't know if he's doing UFC still or not, but
who's the guy that did call out Brock Lesnar after winning the title?
John Jones, probably.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, John Jones did.
With that being said, with Brock Lesnar, Randy, how do you think of him as a wrestler?
Well, he's the big money guy, isn't he? So.
Oh, yeah, I love Brock. Well. As you can see, he's in the background there. I love Brock. So.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple of his wrestling matches on your get-togethers that have stopped ever since you got engaged. But mostly from his wrestling matches, they seemed kind of, all he was doing was flipping people back, and I don't know, wasn't really my thing. The suplex, is that it? Suplexing people?
Suplex City. Yep.
Yeah.
The beast incarnate.
Yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, I saw part of the one where he had the tractor, put the tractor under the ring, and that was kind of aesthetically pleasing, I suppose. But
gotcha.
I don't know. He's a draw. He's a big guy, so
perfect. How about you, Alex? How do you feel about Brock Lesnar in wrestling?
Well, I watched him early when he first started. I guess I did catch it a little bit here or there. I always felt like he was really like technical, but it didn't seem to me like he had the showbiz side of it, down anyway. You never seen him like rip promos. Cause like when I think of like wrestlers, The Rock and Stone Cold, like they could rip a promo. I don't feel like you could throw Brock Lesnar early on anyway. Maybe he's better now. But like early on in his career, I don't think you could have thrown him in the ring with a microphone and he could have kept people interested for more than 5 minutes. But as a wrestler, the dude's just a monster. Like I don't remember. I think I caught a glimpse of it one time, but him and Kurt Angle had like a match, didn't they? And it was just like all suplexes for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, they did a lot of holds, and then towards the end, they both did some high risk maneuvers, and both ended up breaking their necks. So it goes to show you, don't do it unless you have to. Yeah, Cowboy Brock was like this last thing where he was super funny. He kind of had like an Austin swagger to him, out there messing with Roman Reigns, which was super entertaining. How about Ronda Rousey, Randy? What do you feel about that?
I don't think she seems pretty limited in what she does from the little bit I've seen, and I don't think she's a very good talker either. All she has going for her is that everyone knows she knows how to fight, and she was dominant at it one time.
Yeah, I know she kind of struggles with working with certain people because she just doesn't mesh well, depending on who she's with, who's carrying her, vice versa. I personally, in the beginning, I was super sold on her, but now it's just kind of muddled down and just I don't see the razzle dazzle anymore. How about you, Alex? How do you feel about Ronda Rousey in wrestling?
I don't know. I didn't watch her early on. I just know that I would definitely agree with Randy. That last match I did see her, I think it was like whatever pay-per-view I came to last time. It just looked really, really, limited on what she could do, and it just didn't look as smooth as, it looks now for a lot of like the female wrestlers. When they get their match going, a lot of it's pretty smooth, but hers was pretty rough.
Oh, definitely. I will give her credit, though, when she did have that match with Charlotte just before WrestleMania when they had the three-way title match for the belts. Charlotte beat the living hell out of her with the kendo stick and then just took her to town here. It was definitely give her a little respect, but lately I just feel like it's all the same. It's all muddled together, and it's just nothing very spectacular. Yeah. But UFC definitely is real, Randy. They do pretend fight in WWE. But now back to Brock Lesnar. Who would be a better manager, Randy? I already know the answer because you're going to say it. Jim Cornette or Paul Heyman?
Oh, Jim Cornette. Not even close.
Okay, how about for you, Alex?
Well, if I followed managers a whole lot, I wouldn't know, because the only thing I can think of when I think of Jim Cornette is him running down to the ring is it WrestleMania 17 when they did the gag battle royal, and he came down in a full suit with this stupid tennis racket. And then I think he got tossed like right away.
All right, Randy, I want you to tell me 5 things that you love about Jim Cornette.
What's there not to love about Jim Cornette?
I don't love Jim Cornette, so I want to hear from the source your 5 reasons you love Jim Cornette.
That's just because you don't like wrestling. You like wrestling that doesn't have any sort of story. You just like watching some sort of tumbling act that would even pass the sniff test at a 6th grade gymnastics practice. So I can understand why you wouldn't like him. And that's okay. That's okay, Cal. You like what
you can't even give me a few reasons why he loves Jim Cornette.
I'll just listen to his podcast every Tuesday and Saturday.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to his podcast. He's a crotchety old man. I don't know, between him and Bret Hart, I don't know who complains more. So, I mean, I see why you guys, or why you love Jim Cornette so much, because you guys are kind of the same. You're always complaining about things. So,
and I'm always right.
I
We
beg
have a
to
couple
differ
things in
on that.
common.
So, alrighty. So, we're going to jump back into a little bit of trivia here and see if you can name this video game. Alex, you are up first. Can you name this video game?
Yeah, that's the Royal Rumble game on Genesis. I don't
Yes,
remember
it
what.
is.
I don't
And
think
there's
that one didn't have
Yep.
a year on it, did it?
No, I don't think it did. No. So,
I think that is the one I played a bunch though.
yeah, that definitely was one of my favorites. One of the first ones I played. I know I have the modded Xbox, and I'm not very good at it, but I try. So, all right, Randy, you ready for yours?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see if you can name this wrestling game here.
Isn't that Raw's War?
No. Alex, you want to try to steal it?
Isn't that the WrestleMania one?
Well, I can't really give it to you because it is WrestleMania, the arcade game. So,
Is that the one where you like hit people and like things fly off them and it's really cartoony?
yeah, it's
you
kind
could-
of like the Mortal Kombat of the wrestling games back in the day. I wasn't allowed to play Mortal Kombat because my parents actually paid attention to what I was playing and doing, I guess. So, but yeah, that's the one with Doink the Clown, Yokozuna, and they throw the salt or the big clown hand.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Bam Bam
My
comes up
buddy
with
had
the,
that one.
yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite video games there. All right, so Alex still in the lead with one here. Randy, you ready for your next one?
You would pick the least realistic wrestling game as your favorite.
I never said it was real. I just said it's one of my favorites. All right, Randy, you ready? Here we go. Should be able to get this one. It's pretty popular.
Is that the Revenge?
What's that?
Is it the Revenge game?
You know the full name?
No, I can just tell that it says Revenge there. I don't know what the actual name is.
There we go. He kind of ruined it, so we're not going to give Alex a chance there. Definitely another one of the good ones back in the 64 generation days.
I have a side question that probably Cal's only be the only one who's going to be answer it. Was Raven really that big a guy in WCW that he made it on the cover of that game?
So he had the Ravens flock. They were kind of out there weekly. He did the corner spot, and that was kind of the time period during with grunge music, like your Nirvanas and all that 90s grunge music. I can't really think of anybody. I know the songs, but I just can't think of any of the bands like Blind Melon and all those guys out of Seattle. So that was kind of the hip thing that they were tapping into was that. So yeah, he was pretty popular there, and he's regarded as probably one of the better wrestlers in his heyday. One of the smart guys back in the day. I mean, I wasn't a huge Raven fan, so I can't tell you where he was on his technical abilities. So
He was a triple promotion guy, right? He wrestled in all three major ones because he did an
he was in
ECW.
ECW, WCW, and as well as yep. And then I think he went down to Mexico a lot too with Vampiro, but I have to double check that stat. So, all right, Alex, you ready for your next one?
Sure, let's see it.
All right, here we go.
It was that's the WWF Warzone.
Randy, you got a guess?
That wasn't it?
No.
Unless
I messed it up here, but I don't think that's it.
Raw's War again.
WWF Attitude. And then I know that, and I believe this next one here weren't very popular. They were like the gen after, well, not gen, but the games after the No Mercy, the WrestleMania 2000, as well as the WCW NWO Revenge. And then, Randy, you want to take a stab at this one?
I don't know. WWF. I don't know. I have no idea.
Alex?
I think I want to say it's like Attitude Era or something like that. I just remember that game could not have been very popular because any used game store, there was literally stacks of those
Mhm.
things.
Oops. Yeah, Warzone on that one. So yeah, that one, and as well as Attitude. Like I said, they came out after, I believe, the No Mercies and that. Then they had, I think, the WCW NWO Backstage Brawl, which was kind of cool because you could be backstage, obviously, hence the name. But that was another one that just kind of didn't do as well. So are there, now that we've done like the toys and the wrestling video games, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah. So did you guys ever do like the creative player stuff on those? Randy, did you play any of those?
No.
N64 games that we showed?
No, not those. I played N64. I played WW or NWO versus the World. I think is that what that was called. That was the only one I played. I didn't play any of those ones that you just showed.
I guess what I'm getting at is, did you create any players, and do you remember like what your guy's name was? Did you use any specific finishers?
No, I created players on Madden.
Okay.
Their name was Randy C.
Gotcha.
And I dominated.
How about you, Alex? Did you create any players? Did you use any specific finishers that you enjoyed?
Oh yeah, I played a ton of No Mercy, and it was actually pretty funny because it was my buddy's game, so I could never go for like the world title, so I always had to go for the Intercontinental title because he wouldn't let me go for the world title. But my character, I made like a light, a kind of a cruiserweight, and then his name was Biohazard, and he had the poison mist. He had the poison mist for the finisher, so it was pretty well useless for ending a match, but on those old games, you could create like a forward grapple finisher and then a reverse grapple finisher.
Yep. So
his reverse grapple finisher, I gave him the electric chair drop, which I always thought was one of the coolest freaking finishers ever. So I used to play that a ton, and then me and my buddy would do the tag team titles together because I think you could still do co-op tag team titles on those games. I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha.
But
mine were always pretty basic, like Mr. Black. I don't know. And then I always had. I remember Jim Ross, so I just did Jim Ross Jr., and that's still a creative name that I use today. But I always liked the Shattered Dreams by Goldust, aka Dustin Rhodes. Corner Spot was always pretty fun, and then I always enjoyed the Samoan Spike. I don't know why; those are just some of the finishers that I always enjoyed. So.
It's a real clever names you came up with, Cal.
I know they're very great. My newest favorite one is Koi Shark. I don't know, it just sounds dumb, but I use it all the time. So
I could see Jim Ross Jr. on a shirt.
that'd be cool. It'd be cool. So, guys, I appreciate you coming on. We're going to keep this one pretty short. We're trying out some new stuff. Alex, any final thoughts on wrestling? What you like, what you hate today? Anything you want to say before we jump out of here?
I don't know. All I can tell you is I can't really say anything to today's what's going on right now because I don't watch it enough. But I will say this: I know that podcasts are really popular, and if anybody wants to watch it, the Joe Rogan podcast with Jake the Snake is the bomb. I still think it's great. Like I watch it all the time. I think it's really cool, especially if you're into the older wrestlers and stuff. I thought his podcast, Joe Rogan's podcast with him, was pretty cool. But I definitely would say, if I'd say anything, tell anybody that's into wrestling now, go back and find an N64 and get like No Mercy or WrestleMania 2000 and see how fun those games. Because I know nowadays that people say the new games are really hard to play. Those games were like the creme de la creme of freaking wrestling games.
Yeah. Kind of just like the new Maddens. There's just too many buttons you got to push. It's definitely check out an N64. Get yourself some nostalgia. I know there is a website, I think, where you can play online where they have newer current rosters where it's modded to that. So I'd have to find that website again. But They got your Miz's, they got your Seth Rollins, all in that form, and it's just great. I know first wrestling used to have tournaments with the old N64 games, but again, Alex, I appreciate you coming on. We'll have you hang out in the lounge after I kick you out of here. Randy, anything you want to plug, say, anything with current wrestling, anything, etc., before we get you out of here?
Yeah, I just want to say that there's only too many buttons on Madden because you're not any good at it. In addition to that, I think we're probably the two worst guests you've had on this podcast.
That's fine. We're learning. I love it.
And you sent this script. You didn't even follow the damn thing. So what the hell was the point of me even printing the stupid thing off? You're not even going to ask the questions that you tell us you're going to ask.
I did, but you didn't give me enough to go off of, so that's why I'm ending the interview so great. I feel like this is the best one because it's just shit talking, and I love it. I know everybody probably thinks Randy's a complete dick. You can let him know in the comments, but he's actually a good guy. He's got a soft heart, But anything else, Randy, before you go? I know you're itching to say it. I'm just waiting for you to drop, your boy Cornette some more. So.
No, it's all right.
All right, guys. I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, everybody probably thinks it's a little whack, but we're trying new things, getting more people on, talking to people that love it, some people that are part-time fans as well. We'll kick you out of here. Hang tight. We'll visit off the camera here. All right, Alex. We'll see you later, bud.
Sounds good.
Great. That other guy's finally gone. We can actually talk pro wrestling, Randy. I'm just kidding. Randy, I appreciate you coming on. Thanks for your sense of humor. I love it. We'll chat a little bit here. All right. All right. As always, everybody, thank you for watching another episode of Friends of the Squared Circle. I'm your host, Crander Q, a.k.a. my real name. Please check out those sponsors of mine at Superior Creations on Facebook, facebook.com/Superior Creations MN. For all your custom tumbler needs. There's the camera, Darius there, half of Top Flight, as well as his brother, Dante. Yes, these are beautiful tumblers, all made by Superior Creations, as well as your WrestlePalooza champion, Darren Corbin. Give him a like and follow on all social media, as well as TikTok. Yes, Darren Corbin has TikTok. Check out his Patreon, patreon.com/Darren Corbin, where it starts out at just $1. Check him out. Give him a like and follow. Tell him Crander Q, your boy, sent you. And as always, Crander Q out.